All right, what is up, YouTube? So, today is leg day. I'm currently sitting outside of my Planet Fitness now, just trying to get mentally ready to go train some legs. Game plan for legs today is to start off with some hamstrings. Unfortunately, this location doesn't have a real lot of equipment for hamstrings, just really a seated curl machine. But honestly, that is completely okay. Um, Honestly, I'm a big believer in quality over quantity, so I don't need to do a shit ton of different movements for hamstrings. Honestly, the way the hamstring muscle works, it really gets worked with an RDL and by curling. Um, and yes, by pressing too. I mean, if you press higher up on a leg press, you will target more of your hamstrings than your quads. But I'm probably just going to stick to more just leg curls for today. I kind of want to save my lower back and not do RDLs just so that I can be able to do rack pulls later in the week. I might just do a couple light sets at the end to just stretch out the hamstrings, but nothing too crazy heavy because I, again, don't want to fatigue my lower back. So that's the game plan for hamstrings. For quads, probably going to start off with some leg extensions. Just drive a lot of blood to my quads just to get them ready to do some squats. And I know you're probably saying to yourself, why don't you just start with squats? You'll be stronger. And in a bodybuilding context for me, uh, honestly, training isn't about the strength. I honestly feel like my quad activation on squats is a lot better when I start with leg extensions. Just feel like I get a better mind muscle connection on the squatting movements. And to catch everybody up on my squats, I said this in the last leg day video, but I'm starting a bit of a progressive overload for them. So last week I started with one plate on squats. I think it's just 135 for about 2 sets of 20. And that was very light, but I still got pretty sore from it. I was going extra deep. Again, I just want to start a progressive overload like I was saying. So this week it's going to be a plate and a 5, so 145. I'm just going to make small jumps week after week, trying to just perfect my form and just really try to build up strength from the ground up, because squats are definitely a subpar lift for me. Everything else I feel like is pretty even and kind of corresponds to each other, but squats is that one lift that's definitely not where it should be. So I'm definitely going to start making those changes now. Again, these first couple weeks with squats aren't really meant to be too heavy. I'm really just trying to use them to really learn good form, really just open up my hips, really just try to squat deeper. And I also had a bit of a knee injury too. So I'm not really a knee injury, but my knee was bothering me a little bit. So again, just starting off slow and just working up in weight slow is going to really strengthen my quad muscles as well as my tendons and my knees. It's just going to kind of prime them for that heavier weight over time. I felt like during this bulk I started squatting and my strength skyrocketed. And being that it skyrocketed, the muscle was getting stronger, but the tendons and my knees weren't really used to that heavy weight. And I feel like I just kind of jumped the gun in terms of weight being added to the squats, and it definitely hurt my knee a little bit. So I'm going to try to program everything correctly now. That way there's no problems like that in the future. But with all that being said, after quads, I'll probably do a bit of calves. And that's really it for legs today. So I'll see you in there for the first work set of hamstrings. Peace out. All right, what is going on, everybody? So I'm starting off my leg workout with some seated hamstring curls right here. Today I did 6 sets on seated hamstring curls, and then I finished off hamstrings with 2 sets of barbell RDLs. A couple things I wanted to talk about in terms of these seated hamstring curls that I'm doing right here, as well as any sort of movement that you do in the gym, is controlled intensity. As you could see right here, I'm going nice and slow. I'm getting a good squeeze at the bottom, and then really trying to get a nice stretch at the top. Now, a big thing that you need to do in terms of making progress and growing and getting stronger is having high intensity workouts. If you're leaving reps in the tank and you're not pushing yourself, you're definitely going to miss out on a lot of improvements and a lot of gains in the future. Now, a lot of people, I think, hear intensity and they think that in their minds with that word is really pushing past failure. And that is absolutely correct. You want to push past failure, but you don't want your whole entire set to be rushed and to be with bad form. And a lot of times I think people hear intensity and they think I have to go extremely heavy, and that is not the case at all. I think you should pick a moderate to heavy weight that you know you can control, do the best possible reps you absolutely can, and then build up to that failure. And once you're reaching failure, then do tactics like partial reps and self-spotting and spotting to really push past failure. I just think that you can definitely get injured if you are training intense with real heavy weights. I think that is a key to growth. But again, you always want to listen to your body and you always want to have good form. That way you don't get injured. So yeah, that's basically my mindset on every single movement. Like you saw in those seated hamstring curls, I was using that side spotter to just really get that full squeeze and full contraction on the hamstrings. So yeah, just little tactics like that you can use to go past failure. Um, Unfortunately, I wasn't really able to talk much during the barbell RDLs, but I did a set of those after the seated hamstring curls. The key for those barbell RDLs for me wasn't to go too heavy. Like I mentioned in the car, I really did not want to fatigue my lower back. I was really just doing them as a way to just stretch out my hamstrings after a bunch of curling movements. But after that, I'm moving over into leg extensions. My mindset on leg extensions for the first half of the quad workout was to not necessarily go too heavy on them. I was really just going for good squeezes and just getting a nice amount of blood to my quads to really fuel them and get them nice and pumped and ready for some squats, which is what we're up to right now. Today is the second day of my progressive overload phase on barbell squats. So if just to catch you all up again, the first week I did one plate, which I think comes down to 115 on the Smith machine, and I did it for 2 sets of 20. Now today I have a plate and a 5, and I'm doing them again for 2 sets of 20. I feel like my hips definitely feel a little bit more loose in terms of hitting depth, which is a good thing, but I'm not really expecting to see much growth yet in terms of how squats are feeling because it is only week 2. So I'm hoping that next week and as the weeks go on, I'm feeling stronger, I'm feeling looser, and hopefully the form starts to kind of look better as the weeks go on. But yeah, this is honestly a really, really good quad movement for me. I'm usually pretty sore the next day after legs, and I am very sore today. I feel like second day soreness is definitely a big thing I get in legs, but to be sore the day right after training them and just knows that it's just almost like a mental check for me that I worked them out pretty hard. But after some barbell squats, I moved back over into some leg extensions. Again, like I mentioned in the car, I feel like quality over quantity is just the way to go for anything in the gym and in terms of your diet. You know what I mean? I feel like just having good quality reps, good quality food will be better than just doing a bunch of different things and it just might not be as good of quality, if that makes any sense. I just like, even to my whole saying before about intensity, just the quality of your reps with intensity is just going to equal better gains in my opinion. But for these leg extensions right here, I'm just going with a real light weight and just really trying to pump as much blood into the quads as possible. Again, the starting of the set is going to be nice, slow, and controlled, and then as the set goes on, I'm obviously going to get weaker, and I'm just using that little side thing to just push past failure a little bit more, just to keep pumping more and more blood to the quads. Again, you really want to keep constant tension on the muscles the entire time. Unfortunately, there was no post-workout talk today, and I'm sorry you're staring at a black screen, but I hope you all enjoyed. And honestly, if you want to give this quad and if you want to just give this whole leg workout a shot, by all means, give it a shot and let me know how it feels afterward. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow for chest. Peace out.